So how do you know what your clients really want so that you can offer them a coaching package that they want, so you make it easier to sell and so you can make all the money that you want, help all the people that you want to help, and really do what you've been called to do and who you've been called to serve? It's a great question. It probably wasn't as long as the one that I just said, but I'm going to answer that one today. All right, so how do you know what your clients actually want? I did not start my coaching business trying to figure out what clients actually wanted so that I could sell to them. My very first question was, what can I actually offer to clients? I was not very clear on my skills. I wasn't very clear on my coaching superpower, what I call it. And so, I didn't really know, like, what should I offer? What can I do? What can I bring to the table? So my very first question wasn't, what is it that clients actually want? It was more so of like, what can I do? So I guess I'll give you the answer to that question that you didn't answer, that you didn't ask first. And then I will go on to answer the question that you actually did ask. But before I get there, what I'm doing right now is I'm doing a series of videos answering the question, what would you ask a six-figure CEO that would help you on your journey to becoming one? So if you do have a question that you would like answered in a video, please comment it below, and it might happen in an upcoming video. And it also could happen during a live stream. So I broadcast every single Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern. And while you're there, make sure that you subscribe and hit that bell for notifications so you will know when I go live in case I do a pop-up training. And so you'll know when your question was answered. So the way that I figured out what my coaching superpower was is I kind of started really basic first. So I started with the Gallup Strength Finders exam. So if you're not familiar with the Gallup Strength Finders exam, it's just a series of questions that you answer. And at the end of that series of questions, they essentially share with you what your main top strengths are. And so I think my main strengths were vision and strategies, or futuristic. I think one of my strengths was like futuristic and the other one was strategy. Anyway, one of them was like, I'm really good at strategy. And the second one was like, I'm really good at looking ahead. And so that's when I pulled that together and I said, oh, okay, great. Well, I can not only see for clients what they can potentially achieve, but I can also, pull that together and put a strategy together, because that's what I'm really good at. I knew that I wanted to work with business owners because that's where I had, some of my skills. I had been working on a personal finance blog. I knew about content creation. And so I figured, hey, I can help some business owners with content creation, and I can, I may not be able to share with them, how to start an LLC or how to, increase your revenue month over month, but I can definitely share with them how to create content, how to create blog posts, how to get engagement, because that's what I know what to do. So I took a combination of what I knew how to do and also my Strength Finders exam, and I put that together, and that's where my first coaching package and coaching offer came from. Then from there, that's where I really started determining what clients actually want to buy. Because as I started marketing my services and offering my services, I paid attention to the questions that I was getting. So a lot of the questions that I was getting was around, hey, I'm looking to get clients. I am working on, such and such offer. They didn't always say service-based entrepreneur, but basically the gist was that they were trying to do free consultation calls and they wanted to turn those free calls into clients. That was really what it came down to. And that's when I realized, oh, people want clients. And so for the next couple of years, I spent all of my time and effort marketing how to get coaching clients, how to get clients. I first started out with just how to get clients, and then I realized I needed to niche down a little bit. And so then I started working specifically helping coaches to get clients, even though I can help any service-based entrepreneur get clients. And actually my very first coaching clients were product-based businesses. And I helped a product-based business to have her first $1,000 month. So I know that I have skills there as well. But as far as the process that I've put into place now and what I do, it just really works well for service-based entrepreneurs, because I don't really know how to run ads for e-commerce, even though I could hire that out, I guess. But anyways, we're getting kind of into off on a tangent. So to answer the question, like, how do you know what to sell? You have to pay attention. So you have to pay attention to not just what people are saying, but also what they're actually doing. And to explain what this means, It's like, a lot of times people will come to me and I ask them like, what are you doing for marketing? What are you doing to actually get coaching clients? And their response is something like, I am posting on Instagram, or I am, sharing stuff to social media. And I want to like shake everybody and say, you realize that getting clients does not have to stop at posting on Instagram. It's kind of like standing in the middle of a crowded room with a flyer about your services and just waving it around. Like, you're not actually getting it into anyone's hand. You're just posting it. You're just putting it up on the wall and like walking away. And the problem is that it's a common myth and common stereotype that's perpetuated in our industry. So because I'm paying attention to that, it makes sense for me to sell how to get clients from Instagram, right? And then once I make that as an offer, that's when I can actually deliver the truth of what I have to offer, which is Instagram is not the only place, and it's actually not as effective as the strategy that I use. And the funny thing is, another side note tangent is that we actually recently had a call with a potential client who went through the actual process. So the process that I teach to my clients is the same process that I use in order to book clients for my program. And that's how I know that it works. Like, I do eat my own cooking. And it's funny because she got on the call and my enrollment coach was talking to her and kind of walking her through what our process is, how we can apply it to her business. And she was like, yeah, I'm glad that LaTisha's found something that works for her, but I don't think that this would work for me. And the reason I remember this is because my enrollment coach, she had sent me a message telling me about it. And she said, the next thing that I asked her was, but you do realize that that's how you got here, right? And I find it interesting because what a lot of times what people don't realize is that once you create a system and you create a process that works for you, it makes sense to use that process in order to get clients. But anyways, I'm going off on another tangent. That's another tangent of a tangent of a tangent. So to answer your question about what people would want to buy, pay attention to what they're actually currently talking about or what they're actually doing. And even in your discovery calls and questions that you're asking, ask the questions that are going to help you determine what they believe to be true about your topic. And once you figure out what they believe to be true about your topic, that's when you can really get clear on your marketing and what you would do. Now, just to kind of go back on what I said about I could sell a course on Instagram. The way that I would do that is because I don't actually teach like how to get clients from Instagram. Like, my process, it includes Instagram to an extent because I use Facebook ads that run on Facebook as well as Instagram. So I could include that, but I wouldn't create like a full course on it. So I would create something like a workshop or a weekend mini course or something like that. And I would position it and market it as getting clients from Instagram. And then while we're inside of the program, I would share, okay, this is the process and the part that actually brings people from Instagram. It's not posting the flyers on the wall. It's actually putting a flyer into each person's hand, for example. And then I would also share, but at the same time, this other thing is running in the background. We've got this thing happening, this thing happening, this thing happening. So once again, when you determine what people want to buy, your marketing might revolve around that thing that they actually want to buy. Like, your marketing. But once they get into your program, that's when you have an opportunity to kind of like shift their perspective so they can see like, actually, this is what works. So for example, the way that this might look in let's say a weight loss program, and a weight loss program that is really centered around counting calories, to be honest, the marketing might be something like, just count these points. You can lose weight without counting calories. You can lose weight without counting calories, period. Sign up. All right. So who is that? If you're familiar with the diet industry, then you know that that's Weight Watchers, right? They do everything based on points. But if you look at the Weight Watchers points, essentially what they're doing is they're helping you to eat under your caloric needs. With the exception of, and we actually had this conversation the other day, with the exception of the fact that there are certain 0-point foods, free foods, like chicken, for example, is like a free food. Like, you can eat a lot of chicken and be over your calories, but I guess like no one really wants to eat a lot of chicken. And like, I think broccoli is a free food too. But anyways, we won't really talk about that. I don't know. I've never done Weight Watchers, so it works for the people that it works for, and it's great. So I don't really have anything bad to say about Weight Watchers. It was just a conversation that we had about the whole way that it works. But essentially, that's what they're doing, right? They're telling you like, you don't have to count calories in order to lose weight. And then when you get in, they're shifting your perspective and saying, hey, you don't have to count calories, but we are going to count these points. And counting the points essentially turns into you kind of counting calories. And it's really kind of like a stepping point. So think about that when you're trying to think about like, what can I actually sell that people want to buy? Think about what they actually already want to buy. And you're going to need to ask questions, do your research, and kind of go through that process. And then start figuring out, okay, like what's the misconception? What's the myth? How can I turn this around and really serve them what they need? It's similar to, Robitussin when you're a kid. It's like, it's the purple medicine, right? And so you didn't take the medicine because it was medicine. You took it because it tasted like candy. Like I remember being excited when I had to take Robitussin because it was grape flavored and I just loved it. So I was like, when my mom said, hey, it's time for medicine, I was like, okay, great. Can I have another, tablespoonful? So that's essentially what you're doing with the marketing of your program, especially if what you're offering is not sexy. Like it's not sexy to tell someone to write a webinar. It's just not like, it's not sexy, but that's the way that we create one solid piece of content so that people know exactly who you are, what you do, and why they want to work with you before you even have to say a word. So the way that I market that is, we're going to create a system that works for you so that you don't have to do so much work. You have a salesperson essentially working for you. And so that's kind of the way that I sell and offer what people actually want versus something that they actually don't want to do, which is like writing a webinar, which is pretty boring. So I hope that's helpful. If you have other questions, let me know. Just comment them down below. What questions would you ask a six-figure CEO that will help you on your journey to becoming one? I hope you are enjoying this series. Leave your questions down below. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell for notifications, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Okay, bye.